Welcome to Breezin with Bierman, the podcast, a Princetonian Now Media Group production. As always, our job is to educate, entertain, and inform you, my people. You can find Breezin with Bierman, the podcast on, and there will be a quiz after this, New Pod City, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Stitcher, Amazon, and also on the Princeton Now Media Group, our Breezin with Bierman, Facebook page and Instagram page. So if you can't find us, you don't want to hear us because we're all over the place. And now we're glad to have our sponsor, a local sponsor, Lily Pies. I love Lily Pies. I really do. Delectable pastries and hassle-free parking too. Conveniently located at the Princeton Shopping Center for those around here in Central New Jersey, 301 North Harrison Street in Princeton. Everything is made fresh, from scratch, with locally sourced ingredients and organic flour. For pre-orders, specials, and more information, go to Lily Pies. That's LILLIPIES.com, or follow Lily Pies on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And now we go. God, there's so much to do. We're expanding. Our today's guest is an established professional actor with over 30 years in the industry. I talk funny. He graduated with honors from the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. Worked in every aspect of the business, from stage to television and film to radio, industrials, voiceover for interactive video games, commercials, and print. He also spent many years, as how I know him from improv, as a member of the Groundlings Comedy Improv Troupe. He's a former director and instructor and improv specialist at AADA New York City, longtime member of the Actors Equity Association, SAG and AFTRA. He established JW's acting studio in Princeton, New Jersey and New York City in 2007. And now, recently, he's developed SKIT, a special kind of improvisational theater.
Got it.
Communications and don't talk and social skills training for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, starting in 2017. I hope I said that clearly and smoothly. I tried. It's Jody Wood we're talking to. Jody, how's it going?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me on here. I appreciate it. It's been a couple of years now since we'd founded and been working with SKIT, and there's a lot of updates to talk about and a lot of really great stories, and we're really proud of what we're doing and where we came from and where we're going with this. So it's really been, I tell you, reading all these different, my bio and things that I've done in my life and my career, and I got to tell you, I would have never thought in a million years that I would do something like this, only because it just wasn't, something I thought about really. I just kept doing my work, but it's probably the most rewarding work that I've done in my career. Right. So, on many, many levels. So it's been pretty awesome.
Well, very unique. Just to reiterate for the audience out there, you were doing improv. I took improv classes with you. Yes. And how did this improv come to help? Originally, people with intellectual disabilities. You don't say Asperger's, is that it? Anymore? I don't know.
No, you don't. You want to be just careful of different labels and things like that. It's not about labeling people or in any walk of life, I believe. And this is a community of people that have been historically, not really listened to in many ways, or put aside because of this difference about them and things like that. And my feeling about it now, more than ever, is that this disability, or whatever you want to call it or label it, if you want to label anything, which is ridiculous, is everybody's got something to offer, and I've seen it a million times over now. Not just with SKIT, but with my other work as a facilitator of team building workshops and things like that throughout the world, really. And everybody's got something to offer, and that's what we're trying to focus on. So we are focusing on, and we're finding now that we've been doing this a couple of years, that we're bringing things out of people that normally wouldn't get the chance to have that happen. This is all based on theatrical techniques and improvisational theater techniques in particular, but the original idea was not to make anyone an actor, but to use these proven techniques to help develop communication skills, social skills, listening skills, innovation, creativity, dig deep down without even realize you're digging deep down and finding out who you really are and what you have to offer, and that it's okay, and that you're enough, and that you are something. We all have something, and you're enough, and we're going to make it even more than enough. And that's what SKIT's been doing. And I've been doing improv for most of my life. Really. I was doing improv as a kid. I just didn't know it was called improv, but officially for almost 35, 40 years. And, it never ceases to amaze me. The sky is the limit on how these techniques help people of all walks of life. And it's exciting as heck to see what it's doing for lives in this community that we serve.
Well, I like to give us some simulation to how improv works. Let's just do yes and then that will maybe give the audience really a clearer picture of what we're talking about. Why don't you start with something?
Yeah, if I could just explain it real fast.
Okay.
That's what this whole thing is based on. And of course, it's been around forever with improv, but it's all about not denying. There are those so few rules in improv. You don't deny what's being given to you. You accept what's being given to you, whether you like it or not, but somehow together, you're going to make something work. In our case, in improv, it was about trying to create a sketch with no script and make a beginning, a middle, and an end. How to do that? We have no idea where we're going, but we know we're going to get there together. Right. And that is based on the yes and technique that you just referred to. Yes, I'm listening. Yes, I'm accepting what you're giving me. Yes, I'm here for you. I've got your back. And I'm going to build on that idea, and together we're going to get somewhere. So in our work, sometimes we do sketches and different types of improv games, but it should teach that mentality. It's not about just saying yes to anything. No, in this work, in these techniques, in this mindset, in this exercise, you're building on ideas, and it really transfers really well into life and to communication skills. So, and if you want to do a quick example of it, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, just again, just doing it really will show the audience what we're talking about.
Sure.
You can start with yes and we'll do a couple, like 4 or 5, and then
as you know, I start with a statement of any kind, and you just build on it. You don't know what I'm going to say. I have no idea what I'm about to say. I really don't.
That's what I love.
Yeah. So I'll start with. So far, it's been a pretty mild August, I must say. It's been a pretty nice weather out there.
Yes, and it gives me plenty of time to cut the lawn, and I don't get overheated.
Yes, and if you're cutting the lawn, that means you're out there getting some exercise, breathing in some fresh air, and you're making your property look nice. So the neighbors don't complain.
And I don't have to pay anyone to do it too, which I like too. It's good for my pocketbook.
Yes, and whatever's good for your pocketbook is good for your family and your life. Saving money here, saving money there is nothing. That's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yes, and when I save money, I can spend more money on my wife, happy life.
Yes, and I think that's exactly where we put the button on that one, because that is no truer statement has ever been said.
So that, and I have to say, if I can speak for a second, taking your class, I've seen, first of all, it stimulates my brain. I don't know if it's left brain, right brain, and I've worked with you with some of these students with their various, for lack of disabilities, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And once they get over the hump, and they fall and they trust and they fall into it, one thing, they just have fun. They're not their condition. Right. They're not their condition, and they start using their creativity, and potential starts coming out.
That's exactly right.
People started writing scripts for the first time, and maybe these scripts won't go in, but they're using it. And parents can see our kids are more than their intellectual abilities are more than what we think they can be.
Absolutely, and it's funny because we find that a lot of times parents and others, the caretakers, etc., are very protective, and as well they should be. And they're, I think, because of the way society has been toward people in this community, you're almost afraid to show who you truly are in many ways, and that's what the improv thing does. It lends itself to just being who you are. There's no script, there's no plan. It's about me. And whatever I feel and I have to say is going to come out. And does it always work? Well, yeah, most of the time it does, but but that's the thing about improv. Even if you make a mistake, it's what we call the happy mistake, because a lot of times it led to wonderful, awesome things. And, in the past couple of years, and I must say that just to deviate a little bit, with COVID, I was really nervous about how we were going to do improv work on Zoom and all that sort of thing. Because, to me, it was like, the mindset was these techniques, this format wasn't really improv friendly. But
for Zoom, you mean?
yeah, but you've seen the class like this, it limits the things that we can do. And but we found the things that that do work, and we discovered new techniques. Right. And not only have we been able to continue through COVID, we've actually grown. And that's really been a great sign of just improv. Again, it never ceases to amaze me how well it works on so many levels in so many different mediums. So it's been working really well. And I've had some great quotes over the last couple of years, or the last year especially. We've got one student that she said, when I come here, I feel like I'm with my family, or even more so, because I can really, truly be myself. I'm learning things about myself that I never knew before. I feel that there's a comradeship, and it was just, I feel happy, and I look forward to this every week. And now she's joined for 2 different classes. And another mother said, I got to read this one because I'm telling all my friends how the improv work you do facilitates my son's language skills, communication skills, and thinking skills. It's been really hard for him to think in the moment and to speak out. This has made such a difference in his life. And, these are just coming from people's hearts. We're not going out soliciting testimonials and things like that. We're just doing the work that we do. But people are responding, and these are the kinds of things we're hearing. Things like, I didn't think my son was able to do that particular thing, or this or that, or improv. And time's up.
This is live. 1 second. Michelle, can I call you back? I'm doing a podcast right now.
Well, that rings a bell.
That was an improv. That was improv.
Yeah, you got to be ready, but you never know. Exactly. That's almost, I don't know if you're keeping that in or not, but in some ways, that's it. That's what it's about.
On the moment.
If
I can interact too. One thing I like about your class too is you've done it enough, I think, too, and you are empathetic, kind person, but you know how to bring people along without forcing the action. Sometimes I've seen you with whatever class you've been in, you see some people are hesitant, and you ignore them, but you let them know at any time you can come in, and when they start seeing people have fun, they can't help but be drawn in.
Right.
I've seen it. Right. I think that happen 99% of the time when I've been with you in these classes.
Yeah,
always come in.
Always come in. Classes that, and especially in the beginning, even no matter what community we're serving with this class, people are a little hesitant in the beginning. They're afraid to open up and be themselves, because this is truly being your full self. This is really opening yourself up. And that's fairly scary. I've been doing this for a lifetime, and it still makes me nervous about getting up and doing it. Oh my God, can I do this again? Right. Yeah, because you're living in the moment, and something's gonna happen.
It's funny you say that. In our classes, some people were saying this is cheaper than a therapist. In a way, they could explore their feelings, who they were, in a safe place, and also have fun at the same time.
It opens up so many doors. It opens up discussions. It opens up, it's limitless. And again, and we've worked with not just in this particular community. Again, we've helped people with ADHD and people with different psychiatrists and psychologist office, working with people with anxiety and depression. And I mean, it's just
with depression. I've seen people say that was their, like, the light bulb came on and the happy time came on. I mean, I'm not saying it was a panacea and their life changed overnight, but for that hour, they were definitely, the mood lightened. The attitude changed. Things look clearer and better. I mean, like anything else, it's kind of common sense, but you find things that do that for you. And that's what improv can do, or your other techniques.
It's another really, I think, important tool. And, if practiced, improv takes repetition and practice, and really keeping that mindset, it can and has made differences in people's lives. And that there was one session I was talking to you about just the two of us talking about a woman who said, for the first time in years, I forgot for the past hour that I was depressed.
Right.
And it was
That's
just,
the heavy
again,
thing.
it
That's
just
the
blew me
serious
away.
statement.
It blew
That's
me
a no,
away.
it is a blessing without being profound. It is.
I
It
mean,
is.
I'm not saying she walked around, I'm cured. I don't mean that at all, but it helped. It helped. And if we keep doing that, maybe we don't and can't call it therapy because it's not technically proven as far as scientific and all that, but we're working on that, by the way, getting a
Right.
white paper done on this. But yeah, it's just been,
Well, it passes the eye test. I mean, I'm chiropractor. I scientifically, and my dad's a doctor. It really, should work. It's not proven, but some people they get help, mitigate their pain, cured. If it works, it works at the end of the
right.
day, and it passes my eye test. Well, before we go to voices in the crowd, though,
Yeah.
and we repeat this again. How can people? And I'm advocating. I'm not being a paid sponsor here. How
No, I
can
know.
people?
I've always appreciated your support. I appreciate that
Yeah.
very much.
How can people get into your class? What is your contact information?
Well, we have our website, www.skitprograms.com.
That's skit.com.
SKIT is in Thomas, programs with an S.com. On there, you'll see a lot of information and some testimonials and some videos and, contact information, how to get in touch with us as far as email, jwood at skitprograms.com or info@skitprograms.com. Our phone number's on there, 609-240-7080. We're doing a major ad campaign coming up here for the back to school issues of many newspapers throughout central and southern New Jersey. And, we're just moving on. We're also starting to develop relationships with people, working with different organizations who are bringing us in as a service. So with different schools.
Can you name any of them though?
Well, there's the Bancroft School. There's Encouraging Kids, who have been kind enough to work with us this summer in providing a studio right after we had lost the last one due to COVID. Encouraging Kids is a great organization that we're proud to be partnering with as far as bringing new programs there and them bringing programs to us. And, it's a good collaboration. Many different places we're working on with different school systems and that sort of thing. And the team has really grown over the past year, which is amazing because during COVID, our team has doubled over the time. And our students, our retention level is 98%. And our growth has been off the charts. So, we're getting there. It's not huge by any means, but people are finding out who we are, what we do, and that it works.
And before I get the voices in the crowd, you're about the only probably skit that does this, works with people with some form of disabilities.
Yeah, on this level, I know that some other programs have an improv class or do this sort of thing, but and there have been acting programs and things like that. And another thing, we're expanding into teaching acting programs to people who have been bitten by the bug. And right. They'd be thrilled. We're working on putting an improv troupe together with people in this special needs community and an acting troupe down the road. We have another class in workplace communication for those who are working but have difficulty in certain communication or handling different issues at work. That's been a really great class. We're creating songs. We have a songwriting class, a playwriting class. And it's all just stemmed from the communication class based on the improvisational techniques. And it's just kind of branching itself out because people are finding things out about themselves that we can, oh my God, let's do this, and that's the beauty, the many of the beauties of doing this sort of work. But I'm sorry, I got to go off on a rant there. What was
No, the passion is there, and so is the charisma. But we are going to, I guess, segue a little bit. I always ask people in this. This is coming from Princeton, New Jersey. I asked some people from Princeton. I'm having this guest on. If you have any questions for him, what would it be? In this case, I'm not saying you can answer them, but you can try. Jody, I'm an actor. Sometimes I hate scripts. How do you bring a script to life? How do you work with a producer when you don't like the person's script or their script writer? How do you answer that one?
Well, I say, if you're an actor, that you need to be adjusting to things. You need to work with the directors or the producers, especially, it's a collaboration. It's a yes and mindset. And if you don't like the script, then leave the project. Or if you're going to have conflict with those that you work with, you may want to seriously think about that bartending career.
Okay. Here's the next one, more in that vein. Acting's difficult. You don't know if you're going to ever break through. How did you keep going when you really didn't know, when there was no hope in sight, you just had to keep grinding and think that something would finally turn up, a job or, a breakthrough of some kind in your career?
Again, I've been teaching and directing now since 2004, and I taught in New York for many years, directed many students in plays and a lot of classes in New York City at the Academy. And I tell people all the time in my classes in the beginning, if there's anything else in your life that you can do and be happy with, do it. Do it. There's
Right.
other levels of acting that you can do on, community theater, things like that. But it has to be something that's in you. It's got to be who you are. It's like, I can't do anything else. I can't do anything else. This is who I am. I have to do this. And that's what keeps
That makes it easier.
crazy. You got to be a little, off your rocker to be an actor, but that's okay.
We have to go to the next one. What about your favorite star moment? Famous actors, actresses you've worked with.
Oh,
Did you have any celebrity crushes when you were on set?
no. People ask stuff like that. Look, I was lucky enough and blessed to be called a working actor. It was a dream of mine. Star this or star that never meant anything really to me. I mean, I must say that people I've worked with, one movie that I worked with on was called Rules of Engagement, and there were so many different levels of stars in that film. Ben Kingsley, I'm on the set with Ben Kingsley. This is amazing. But one of the moments that I remember when I was first starting out in Los Angeles, I was tending bar at a jazz club in Hollywood, and Clint Eastwood came in, and I was just getting started out there. And I watched as that man's presence, he walked in the room and it was like he was parting the Red Sea.
Really?
He had this thing about him, and it was nothing to do with acting or being on a movie set. It was just like, wow, that's Clint Eastwood. And, so that was pretty cool. But, it always comes down to the work, whether it's Clint Eastwood, whether it's whoever it is, it comes down to, I'm an actor, you're an actor, we need to achieve this together, period. Egos are involved, yes, and not, stuff that goes on with some of these stars, but the bottom line is it's always and always will be about the work. And that's the kind of work and mentality that we bring, now that we have this great team at SKIT, that we bring to the community that we're serving now, to work together. It's about the work. It's about us. It's about the team. It's about being okay with yourself. Confidence has been through the roof. So, to me, it's
give us a number and website. Give us a number and website again for everyone.
www.skitprograms.com. And the number is 609-240-7080. And we're also excited, since I'm here, that to be finally starting up our JW Actor Studio classes again, which is where this SKIT was founded through that, the studio that I've been running. So we're happy to be back starting in the fall with the JW Actor Studio work for people that want to really learn the craft of acting and quite possibly pursue it as a career or just use those techniques in their lives. Right. So that's www.jwactorsstudio.com with one S, ACTOR studio.com, same phone number. But, this is primarily and is about SKIT, this conversation, but I thought I'd throw that in there.
Why not? Well, thank you, Jody Wood. And again, good luck. I want to come in and I'm going to California tomorrow.
Oh.
Maybe I won't come back. Maybe I'll be in the, I'll be in Tomb Raider 4 or Fast and Furious 3. I don't know. They're on number 12 or 13.
Yeah,
no,
probably.
Yeah. So
where are you going in California?
Alhambra.
Oh, that's right. Alhambra.
We used to live in South Pasadena.
It's right next door to my old stomping grounds out there, South Pasadena. Yeah.
So if I run into Clint, if we go up to Carmel, I'll say that Jody Wood remembers you, and that when he walks in the room, the molecules change and everything.
Yeah,
I
I'm
want
sure
to thank you.
that'll
I
make
want to
his
thank.
day.
That would make us stay. I keep on interrupting you too. I'm doing a bad job today.
Nah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
not. This is
No.
this is banter. This is improv.
Okay, that's true. Well, yes, and I'm glad to have you. I'm excited about SKIT, always have been. I want to sit in the class when I come back in the fall and everything.
Mhm.
And yes, and whatever you want to say to end it.
Yes, and well, I just again want to thank you having me on and to seeing you again. And to before we started, I got to see Patrick, your producer, and it's been a while since I've seen him. So I'm glad that you guys are still working together, and I'm glad to see that he's decided to put on a Yankee cap instead of the Pirates hat. So you know,
Well, because he's bald.
part
And
of
yes,
that.
so I'm being negative.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
being,
It
and
doesn't
yes,
matter what hat it is, then, does it?
Exactly. And I'll be really shallow because I'm going to, yes, and we'll do lunch sometime.
Yes, and have my machine call your machine.
Exactly. Thank you, Jody Wood. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, just stated myself, huh? Machine. All right. Thanks. Take care. Thank you.